Ladies and gentlemen, students and scholars, teachers and trainers, professors and professionals, listeners and learners, minister to managers, doctors, directors, I heartily cordially welcome all of you. It is very nice time, nice place, nice section. Words to 78-year-old Republican leader elected 47th US President makes historic comeback after 4 years. Donald Trump was golden age. Modi riots, Trump vowed to work for global peace. Prime Minister Narendra Modi and US President elect Donald Trump had a conversation on phone on Wednesday as the PM congratulated the Republican leader for the spectacular win. Trump told PM Modi that he considers him and India a true friend of the US, and that Modi was one of the first world leaders he spoke to after his victory. Both leaders affirmed to work together for global peace. Official sources Trump spoke of the whole world to the PM Modi and that India was a magnificent PM Modi, a magnificent man. Prior to the conversation, PM Modi invoked his past relations with his dear friend Trump and posted on X a bunch of pictures along with a congratulatory message. The ties between the two date back to 2017 and have since been marked by strong diplomatic strategies. Donald Trump was golden age. This is a magnificent victory. It is really remarkable that will also help us to make America great again. We are going to help our country heal. We are going to fix our borders. I want a lot of people to come into our country. But I want them to come in legally. I'm not going to stop watch last result. Except we defeated IS. It's time to put the divisions of the past 4 years behind us. It's time to unite. And we are going to try, and it's going to happen. Republican leader Donald Trump won the US presidential election for a second term on Wednesday in one of the greatest political comebacks in American history. 4 years after an election loss in 2020 that sparked a violent insurrection at the US Capitol. The 78-year-old, convicted of felony charges and awaiting sentencing in a hush money case in New York, defeated his Democratic rival Kamala Harris in a bitterly fought election around midnight 2094. Electoral votes had gone to Trump and 2023 to Harris. Trump, the oldest person in US history to be elected president, crossed the halfway 2070 votes mark in Electoral College. Votes with victory in the battleground state of Wisconsin. Addressing his supporters at West Palm Beach in Florida, Trump declared his victory in the presidential, calling the mandate unprecedented and powerful. Unprecedented and powerful. Many people have told me that God spared my life for a reason. Trump said, referring to the two assassination attempts on his life during the election campaign this year. Amid cheers of his jubilant supporters and his family by his side, Trump declared that this will be the golden age of America. This is a magnificent victory for the American people. This was a moment like nobody's ever seen before. And frankly, this was, I believe, the greatest political movement of all time. There is never been anything like this in this country and maybe beyond, Trump said, and now it's going to reach a new level of importance because we are going to help our country heal. We will help our country. We have a country that needs help and it needs help very badly, he said. Soon after projections indicated Trump's victory, congratulatory messages started pouring in from world leaders, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and French President Emmanuel Macron for his historic return to the White House after President Garold Cleveland 1885 to 1889 and 1893 to 1997. Trump is the only person to return to the White House for another term after a gap of 4 years. Trump served as president from January 2017 to January 2021. We made history for a reason tonight. And the reason is going to be just that we overcame obstacles that nobody thought possible. And it is now clear that we have achieved it. Kanaka rejects Punjab's substandard's rise. To weed out inactive cadre from dissolves its HP unit. Trump 2.0 means for trade, migrants, wars in West Asia, Ukraine. A Donald Trump presidential election victory is going to have huge implications for US trade policy. Climate change, the war in Ukraine, electric vehicles, Americans, taxes, and illegal immigration. While some of these proposals congregational Donald Trump presidential election victory is going to have huge implications for US trade policy, climate change, the war in Ukraine, electric vehicles, Americans' taxes, and illegal immigration. While some of his proposals will require congressional approval, here is a summary of the policies he has that he would pursue while in office. More tariffs. Trump has floated the idea of the 10% or more tariff in all goods imported into the US among the says would eliminate the trade deficit, but critics say it would lead to higher prices for American consumers. He also said we should have the authority to set higher tariffs on countries that have put tariffs on US imports. Mass deportations. Trump has vowed to reinstate its first term political targeting illegal border crossings and to forge ahead with sweeping new restrictions. He has pledged to limit access to asylum at the US Mexico border and to embark on the biggest deportation effort in American history, which would likely trigger legal challenges and opposition from Democrats in Congress. A push to end watch. Trump has been critical of US support for Ukraine in its war with Russia and had said he could end the war in 24 hours if elected. Although he has not said how he would achieve this, he had suggested Ukraine may have to yield some of its territory if a person, if a peace deal is to be struck. An idea Ukraine has consistently rejected. He has backed Israel in its fight against Hamas in Gaza, but has urged to wrap up its offensive. Trump can be expected to continue the Biden administration's policy of arming Israel. No federal abortion ban. Trump appointed three justices to the U.S. Supreme Court who were part of the majority that did away with Roe Wade's constitutional projection for abortion. He likely would continue to appoint federal judges who would uphold abortion limits. Investigating enemies, Trump has pledged to use law enforcement agencies to investigate his political foes, including poll officials, lawyers, and party donors along that line. He has said he will consider appointing special prosecutors to probe Biden. Election outcome comes as relief for Netanyahu. Bibi said minister considered Biden's favored interlocutor. Jerusalem, November 6. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his supporters celebrated Donald Trump's election as president, hailing what a leader of the Israeli secular movement called an ally who would support them unconditionally, congratulating Republican Trump. Netanyahu said the former president had made history's best comeback. The outcome is a relief for Netanyahu's coalition, which has clashed with Biden's Democratic administration over the conflicts in Gaza and Lebanon that have fueled protests worldwide and left Israel increasingly isolated internationally. As the world watched the US election on Tuesday night, Netanyahu took the opportunity to sack his defense minister, Yoav Gallant, one of the Biden administration's and the US military's favored interlocutors in the government. The current administration trusted Minister Gallant said Ephraim Snein, a former brigadier general in the Israeli army, the removal of Gallant in the middle of a multi-front war that threatens to escalate into a full-scale confrontation with Iran drew protesters to the streets in Israel. Israel catch Gallant's replacement, who had been serving as foreign minister, said Trump's victory would strengthen the alliance with Israel and help to secure return of the 101 hostages still remains in Gaza. News from New Delhi, November 6. No roadblocks to patrolling clinics Focus on immigration, economy paved way for Trump's comeback. US President-elect Donald Trump with his wife, Melania Trump, son Barron Trump, and Republicans vice presidential-elect J.D. Vance at Palm Beach Country Convention Center in Florida. Washington, November 6. Donald Trump had scored a decisive victory in a deeply divided nation. In doing so, the Republican president-elect has exposed a fundamental weakness within the Democratic base and beat back concerns about his moral failings. Becoming the first US president with a felony conviction, the former president won over frustrated voters with promises to improve economic block the flow of immigrants on the southern border and is called to make America great again. He appealed to religious voters by seizing on the Democrats' support for the transgender community. His claims America first economic populism and conservative culture would make voters' lives better. Will be tested immediately, but his plans for mass deportations and huge tariffs may hurt the very people who enabled his victory. Trump is set to enter the White House on January 20, 2025, with what's still being counted. He could become the first Republican in two decades to win the popular vote. With modest shifts, Trump undermined the Democrats' coalition of black voters who have been the bedrock of the Democratic Party. In recent years, Latinos and young voters have also joined them. All three groups still prefer Democrat Kamala Harris. But preliminary data from AP broadcast a nationwide survey of more than 1,15,000 voters suggested that Trump had made significant gains. Convention, conviction not an issue. Incomplete returns show that Trump's criminal convictions, additional pending indictments, and any concerns over his most incendiary rhetoric simply were not a sufficient concern to keep tens of millions of Americans from voting for him. Besides, Trump may never actually face sentencing in a New York business law case in which he was convicted of 34 felonies. Inflation key Paul Plank. Around half of Trump voters said inflation was the biggest issue that determined their election decisions. About as many said that about the situation at the US Mexico border, according to an broadcast, he has promised the largest mass deportation effort in US history and threatened to impose massive tariffs on key products from China and other American adversaries. Biden's dismissal rating, despite voters' frustration and Biden's dismissal approval rating, Kamala Harris never distanced herself from her party's sitting president. Voting abortion concerns. It was the first presidential election after the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade and ended a woman's national right to terminate a pregnancy. It was also the first time that a Republican presidential candidate overly coveted males with a hypermasculine approach. But the gender gap that resulted was not enough to sink Trump. About half of women backed Harris, while about half of men went for Trump, according to AP Podcast. Ties depend on US says Russia as world leaders great president. China reacts cautiously. China on Wednesday reacted guardedly to Donald Trump's election as the US president for the second time, saying it will continue to handle China US relations in accordance with the principles of mutual respect and peaceful coexistence. The state media, however, said Trump's victory could mark a new beginning in China-US relation if the chance that has been offered is not wasted. From London or as he won the US presidential election, getting a stunning political comeback 4 years after he left the White House. Starmer was among the first world leaders to issue a congratulatory message soon after Trump addressed a rally in Florida to claim victory in the US presidential race. He said the special relationship with the UK, hoping that hoping that the latest development can bring peace. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky said, I appreciate President Trump's commitment to the peace through strength approach in global affairs. This is exactly the principle that can practically bring just peace in Ukraine closer. A Kremlin spokesperson said Russia President Vladimir Putin remained open to engage in a constructive dialogue with the US, asserting that the future of Washington Moscow relations depends on the American administration. Moscow made the remarks while responding to a question about whether relations between the US and Russia would deteriorate if Putin did not congratulate Trump, the state owned TASS news agency reported. Meanwhile, Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, congratulated Trump, saying, congratulations on history's greatest comeback. You are a historic leader. The White House offers a new beginning for the America and a powerful recommitment to the great alliance between Israel and America. This is a huge victory into friendship. Mahmoud Abbas, president of the Palestinian Authority, said we will remain steadfast our commitment to peace. We are confident that the US, under your leadership, will support the legitimate aspirations of the Palestinian people. Congratulations, President Donald Trump, ready to work together just as we knew how to do during 4 years with your convictions and with mine, with respect and ambition for more peace and prosperity. France President Emmanuel Macron wrote on 10 Mao Ning, spokesperson Chinese Foreign Ministry, policy towards the US is consistent. We will continue to view and handle China-US relations to accordance with the principles of mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation. Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, said congratulations to Donald Trump on being elected President of the United States. The friendship between Canada and the US is the envy of the world. 30 die in Israel strikes on Lebanon. Israel, Israeli strikes on Lebanon killed at least 30 people around the eastern city of Belgrade in the Bekaa Valley on Wednesday, according to the regional governor and addressed more strikes hit Burit's southern suburbs. Around 30 Israeli strikes on the wheelback Hamal government killed 30 people. Now news from the business world. Global markets rally on Trump's victory. Dollar index relied 1.6% set for best days in September 2022. Tesla shares soar New York. Elon Musk's Tesla banks and Bitcoin stormed higher as investors bet on what Donald Trump's return to the White House would mean for the economy and world. Among the losers, the market sees the Mexican peso, renewable energy companies, and potentially anyone worried about high inflation. Wall Street masked to record highs on Wednesday and major stock markets around the world surged, while Bitcoin also hit an all-time high and dollars was set for its biggest one-day jump in 4 years after Donald Trump was elected U.S. president. Crackdown, news from Indiana. Crackdown on Farm Fire and six officials prosecuted for negligence in Kampala. Long-term action plan to address water between 60 Rohtak villages record gender ratio less than 800. Gajan Matra walks out of jail after 1 year. Proposed roads fee image goes viral in Patiala probe ordered. Need to check law of industrial waste into river, says governor. To dodge satellite farmers burning stubble at night. Canada Temple Management suspends priest over involvement in clashes. News from Mahesh Sharma. In a major development in the Brampton violence case, the management of Hindu Sabha temple had suspended a priest who was allegedly involved in activities of unauthorized protesters on the temple Sundays. Madhusudan Lama, President Hindu Sabha Temple, Brampton on Tuesday passed an order to suspend priest Rajendra Prasad due to controversial involvement of Hindu Sabha priest Rajendra Prasad with non-permitted protesters on the Hindu Sabha premises on November 3, 2024. Hindu Sabha is suspending Rajendra Prasad with immediate effect, reads the order. An Irish shuttle in Canada has World Cup decision saying it would help the Canadian administration in maintaining law and order and ensuring safety of all concerned. Sikh organizations and several other organizations were also engaged the initiative of the temple management to distance itself from any activity that promotes hatred among Hindus and Sikhs had settled abroad. As GPC member Gurjan Singh Grewal said, the strategic management committee of Sikh and Hindu organization had proved beyond doubt that the unfortunate event that happened on last Sunday was not a attack on a particular shrine or community, but a confrontation among group of people with divergent ideologies. We appreciate that the temple management has stopped engaging on premises of the shrine, has not permitted protesters and suspended prayers. Rajendra Prasad for his alleged involvement in instigating the protesters. The step taken by the management will facilitate Canada government in maintaining law and order and ensure safety for all concerned, said Diwali. Harvinder Singh Khalsa, a social activist, also said praised the leaders of both communities for coming forward to check the tendency of spreading hatred in the name of religion. The stand taken by the temple management in Brampton has provided relief to those whose wars are settled in Canada and other foreign countries, he said. News from Punjab.
The post was fake, views was viral.